Good morning, everyone. I'm QB Hartunangan from BSN 212C. So for today's procedure, I'm going to do the Leopold's maneuver. So first, I need you to tell the purpose. So first, this will determine the number of fetuses. Also, to identify the position, degree of descent, and altitude of the fetus. So for the material, we only need to use stethoscope. Okay. First, we need to generalize the instruction that given to us. Is first to palpate with warm hands, so we need to warm our hands before doing the procedure. Okay, so first step, we need to wash our hands. So we need to wash our hands. Next is to explain the procedure to the patient because this help relieves the apprehensive and facilitates cooperation. Next is let the patient empty her bladder before procedure. Next, position the patient on supine with one pillow under her head and with knees slightly flexed. So let's assume that this is the belly of the woman, the pregnant woman, and her knees is already flexed. So as you can see here, we all have the pillow. Next is, if right-handed, stand at the woman's right facing the patient. So in my position, I don't have a bed that mataas sa akin. So I'm just using the floor to do this procedure. So I'm just position myself in front of the patient. And next is, we need to do the first maneuver. So face the patient and palpate the uterine fundus to determine what part of the fetus lies in the upper part of the uterus. So the head feels hard and round, freely movable and ballotable. So first is, we need to feel right here to feel the baby's head. Second is, palpate in downward direction to the side of the abdomen, applying gentle but deep pressure to determine the position of the back and the anterior shoulder. On side of the fetal back, a long continuous structure will be felt. Side of the extremities will feel nodular, reflecting the portion of the fetus. So gently touch the belly on the side by feeling the spine of the baby or the back so that you can determine where you can find the fetal heart. Okay? Next is, place one hand over the symphysis, pubic, and gas the lower uterine segment between the thumb and finger. Feel the presentation part. If engagement has occurred, fetal heart feels fixed in the pelvis. The head is at the inlet or in pelvis in 0% or presenting part is still movable, it's not engaged. So we need to slightly press but not deep by feeling the baby's head and the buttocks. Next is, turn and face the woman's feet to confirm the findings of the third maneuver and determine the flexion of the finger into the pelvis. I already now position myself on facing the women's feet to confirm the findings of the third maneuver and determine the flexion of the fingers into the pelvis. And the cephalic prominence is felt on side where there is greater resistance to descent of the vertex. Next, locate again the back of the fetus and place the stethoscope over it and listen to the fetal heart tone for one full minute. Normal fetal heart rate is 120 to 160 beats per minute. Now, you start doing And then, after that, we need to note the location rate and character of the fetal heart rate. So, now, after that, make the patient comfortable. And lastly, the most important thing is we need to document the observation made and the fetal findings presentation, position, attitude, and whether engaged or floating. And this may to promote database of future use.